Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're doing something pretty cool. We're gonna take that infamous black box of AI optimization and we're gonna smash it open. We're talking about shifting from just guessing what an AI does to actually knowing what it thinks. It's time to turn that black box into a glass box. Let's get right into it. So let me start by asking you this, and it's a big one. Is your entire AI optimization strategy built around the AI's final output, what it does, or are you aiming deeper at its internal logic? Because that single distinction, well, it's about to change absolutely everything for AIO professionals. Here's a quick look at where we're headed. We'll start with the black box problem we all know too well. Then we'll reframe our whole strategy. Think moving from checkers to chess. After that, we'll peek inside the AI's mind. I'll give you a new glass box strategy you can use, and we'll wrap up with a practical example of how you can literally rewrite an AI's story about your brand.
All right, first up, the AIO block box. For way too long, optimizing for AI has felt like a total guessing game, right? We've been chasing these superficial results, these vanity metrics, instead of understanding the process that gets us there. And the number one offender here is our obsession with citations. Look, getting cited feels great. I get it. But it's a vanity metric. It tells you what happened, but it gives you absolutely no clue as to why it happened. And more importantly, you have no idea how to make it happen again on purpose. That's not a strategy, that's just luck. So to get a little closer to the truth, we started looking at a couple of deeper things. First, query fanouts. All those little background searches the AI makes. And second, the chain of thought. Basically, how it stitches the information from those searches together. Now, this is definitely better. It shows us how the AI is thinking, but it's still reactive. We're looking in the rearview mirror, seeing what it's already done. And that brings us to a totally new way of thinking about this, a whole new strategic level. It really is the difference between playing a simple game of checkers and playing a strategic game of chess. So let's break this down. Playing checkers, that's optimizing for those query fanouts we just talked about. You're just reacting to what the AI already did. It's all about the what. But playing chess, this is the game changer. This is optimizing for the AI's internal thoughts before it even makes a move. You're not reacting, you're influencing what it's going to do. You're optimizing for the why. So the big question is, how on earth do we start playing chess? Well, we do it by getting inside the AI's mind. The game has totally changed because for the first time, we can actually turn that frustrating black box into a completely transparent glass box. And the breakthrough is all thanks to new API capabilities. Specifically, if you look at Google's Gemini API, there's this one little parameter, include thoughts equals true. When you flip that switch, it's like magic. You don't just get the final answer, you get the AI's entire internal monologue, every thought it had on its way to that answer. This gives us a completely new target to aim for. In SEO, we've been obsessed with user intent for years. Well, welcome to the new world of AIO, where we now have to focus on AI intent. This is the AI's own reasoning, its logic, the list of things it decides it needs to find out before it ever performs a single search. That is the new bullseye. So let's get practical. How do we turn this insight into an actual actionable framework? This is your glass box strategy, and it's all about optimizing for those internal thoughts. It's really just 3 straightforward steps. First, you run your key questions through the API with that include thoughts parameter turned on. Step 2, and this is just brilliant, you get the AI to analyze its own thoughts and tell you where the gaps are. What did it look for that it couldn't quite find? And then, step 3, you build a content strategy that is laser-focused on filling those exact gaps. And this right here is the prompt that unlocks that second step. It's a reverse engineer prompt. You're basically telling the AI, hey, read your own diary, pinpoint exactly where you got stuck or where the info is weak, and then, based on that, design a content marketing strategy for me to fix it. It's unbelievably powerful. Okay, so theory is one thing. Let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. We're going to walk through a quick example of how a brand could use this strategy to completely change the AI's narrative about them. So let's imagine we're working with a big company, say a brand like Santander. And the big money question we need to win is, what's it like to work at Santander? Now, just to be super clear, this isn't something they've already done. This is a hypothetical example of what's now possible for any brand using this new approach. So we run that query, and we look at the AI's hidden thoughts. And there's a problem.
Internally, the AI is thinking automation equals job loss. Its next logical step is to verify the premise of job security. The business risk here is massive. The AI is going to scare away top talent. So the content fix? We have to completely reframe the narrative. We create content around the AI native colleague experience, positioning AI as a helpful co-pilot, not a replacement. And that big idea translates into very specific actions. The main narrative has to shift from automation replaces people to AI as your co-pilot. Then you create brand new content to back it up. Think blog posts from employees titled, "My First Month with an AI Co-Pilot." And then you get technical, using things like FAQ schema to directly answer, how does Santander use AI to help employees? You're hitting it from all angles. So here's the bottom line, the most important takeaway from all of this. You're no longer guessing what the AI wants. You are no longer reacting to what it spits out. You are now in the driver's seat, strategically shaping the AI's fundamental understanding of your brand from the inside out. And that leaves us with one last, really important question. We've shown you how to peek inside the glass box. The tools are here, so now you have to ask yourself, what is the AI thinking about your brand right at this very moment? Because you finally have the power to find out.